Here's Bradley's 24-hour forecast.
Well, a pretty typical first day of August weather-wise across Acadiana. Temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s for the most part at the top of the hour, but we do have some rain-cooled air out there, especially New Iberia coming in at 81, 82 up in Opelousas. And again, still tracking some scattering of showers, few storms out there, mainly across eastern St. Landry Parish and a couple other lone downpours here, Vermilion, Iberia parishes. And really the bulk of the coverage of the showers and storms today setting up a little bit further off to our east. Notice this heavy storm here closing in on Donaldsonville here across the river parishes of southeastern Louisiana. So again, the showers that we do have on the radar currently should kind of rain themselves out and diminish as the evening wears on. It'll be mild, it'll be muggy. Mid to upper 70s is where those temperatures eventually will drop, and that's where we'll start our Tuesday morning. Maybe a few coastal showers out there first thing tomorrow morning, and then we'll get ready to do it all over again into the afternoon with activity more or less on a scattered basis. We'll hold rain chances at around 40 to 50%. So again, not everyone necessarily getting wet like today, but we will have downpours lurking around. Temperatures eventually dropping through the 80s and into the 70s, bottoming out mid 70s first thing tomorrow morning, and then again upper 80s to lower 90s tomorrow afternoon, with the rain chances peaking at around 40 to 50%. Looks like rain chances will be enhanced even a little bit further as we head into the middle and latter parts of the week. We'll talk a little bit more about that, some rainfall totals, plus the very latest out of the tropics coming up.
Well, the rain is still falling tonight in Kentucky as the death toll climbs to 35 from devastating flooding. It's expected to rise as dozens remain missing tonight. ABC's Alexis Christoforous has more.
As parts of Kentucky assess the damage from last week's historic storms, Governor Beshear warning residents to brace for more flooding.
Still in the emergency response mode, still doing search and rescue. Weather today may complicate that, but there is severe storm potential today in all of the impacted areas.
Among the dead, 4 siblings aged 2 to 8 years old. The force of the current ripping the children from their parents' grip. Loved ones of the missing organizing search parties, including William Cook, who's looking for his brother-in-law.
They want closure. You know, they know about what it is, but they just want closure.
The National Guard rescuing at least 1,000 people by air and boat this weekend alone. While on the ground, trained dogs pick up on even the smallest scent in hard-to-reach areas.
There's human scent in the water because others have drowned and been pushed through the water. There's human scent over everything that was in a home.
Governor Beshear estimating hundreds of millions of dollars in damage, with homes and businesses washed away, hundreds now living in shelters.
This is what we do in Kentucky. We take care of one another.
The areas of eastern Kentucky where much of the flooding occurred is hilly and mountainous, making it more difficult for rescue crews to do their job. Governor Beshear saying it could take weeks to find all the victims. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
As that flooding continues in Kentucky and other parts of the world, the White House is working to make more than $1 billion available. The money will be used to help address flooding and extreme heat they say is caused by climate change. Vice President Kamala Harris was in Miami announcing this grant program. The grants will help communities across the nation prepare for and respond to climate-related disasters.
President Biden is back in isolation after once again testing positive for COVID over the weekend. According to the White House, the president has a rebound case of COVID, which can be experienced by those who are treated with Paxlovid, an antiviral pill used to fight COVID. The White House press secretary says the president, though, does not have any reoccurring symptoms. Legislation banning semi-automatic guns is now headed to the Senate after passing in the House. The high-powered firearms are widely blamed as the weapon of choice in the most devastating mass shootings. A previous ban here in the U.S. lasted from 1994 until 2004. The bill, though, will likely stall in the Senate.
A Texas man who was convicted of bringing a gun to the U.S. Capitol on January 6th and threatening House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is going to prison. A federal judge in Washington, D.C. sentenced Guy Rafidi to more than 7 years in prison. That's the longest insurrection-related sentence to date by 2 years. Now, he was a recruiter for the right-wing militia known as the Three Percenters, and his first Capitol rioter to go to trial rather than taking a plea agreement. He was also found guilty in March of 5 felonies, including transporting, carrying a firearm on Capitol grounds, and interfering with Capitol Police. The committee investigating the January 6th riots at the Capitol will share some of the evidence with the Justice Department. The committee announced it will share 20 interview transcripts with the DOJ for its own investigation. It's not known which of the transcripts will be shared. The DEAR follows a statement by Attorney General Merrick Garland to hold anyone accountable, no matter their position, if they broke the law.
NOAA is out with satellite images showing smoke from the deadly wildfire in California. The McKinney fire has already destroyed more than 55,000 acres, and in Arizona, storms have dumped several inches of rain, and widespread flooding has prompted several water rescues there. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Swallowing more than 55,000 acres, the massive McKinney fire is roaring across California's hillsides and gaining ground every minute.
Oh my God, I can feel the flames from here!
Up against such a vast terrain, firefighters are struggling to make progress as the whipping winds and extremely dry conditions fan the flames. So far, more than 100 buildings have already burned, and crews are pleading with residents to get out.
We are asking people to evacuate. The area is very rural. We are noticing that there are quite a few people that are helping each other, which is a really wonderful thing in this time of lots of stress.
81-year-old Althea Schwander just moved into her home a month ago. She says she watched the fire tear through.
I saw it coming over from the community center, and I just saw it explode in the dark. I'm very sad. My house is gone, all my furniture, all my clothes, shoes, coats, boots, everything's gone.
So not good. Meanwhile, in SoCal,
don't go down Highway 38, it's closed.
Torrential rains triggering this mudslide east of San Bernardino, stranding drivers and closing Highway 38. The mass of mud and scorched vegetation covering the road after flowing down a hillside scorched in the El Dorado fire back in 2020.
Come on, give me your other hand!
This body camera footage showing the frantic moments when police rescued a woman who was trapped inside her car by rising floodwaters in Apache Junction. First responders were able to save her, but sadly weren't able to find her dog, who was also inside the car. And as for that massive McKinney fire, a red flag warning remains in effect, with firefighters concerned about the ongoing threat of dry lightning. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And still ahead on Acadiana's News Channel at 5, KATC Media Days continue. Tonight we're live in Lafayette Parish.
And weather-wise, it stays hot, stays humid, no shocker there, but scattered downpours remaining in the mix just about each and every day. We'll talk the details coming up after the break.
From the KATC Weather Lab, here's Bradley's forecast.
Welcome back. All right, let's get right into the drone shot. Maybe if you missed it there, that was our very own Scott Brazda doing a story today out over by the Cajun Dome here as we take to the skies with the KATC drone cam. And again, partly to even mostly cloudy in spots, even some rain here off in the distance earlier this afternoon. And that's kind of how it went for the first day of August. It was hot. It was humid out there for sure, and scattered showers and storms. Not everyone necessarily getting wet, but nonetheless they were certainly out there for sure. So here's what we're tracking. Kind of have a couple upper level smaller disturbances that are trying to push in from the east to the west, and as that interacts with a good amount of low level moisture in place at the surface, that's helping to enhance our rain chances. Now today, greatest coverage of showers and storms actually setting up more so off into southeastern Louisiana. That'll probably be the case tomorrow as well, but then as we head into the middle and latter parts of the week, we'll start to see even more upper level energy kind of moving closer westward into our region, and that should help to enhance our rain chances even a little bit further. Now as we dial it in, the Power Doppler 3, again still tracking some scattered showers and storms across the area, but again you can see where it's really maximized here as we get closer on the other side of the basin off towards Gonzales and getting closer to the river parishes. But again, some very heavy rainfall, quite a bit of lightning with that complex of storms. Meanwhile here in Acadiana, just some leftover lingering light showers as we get into Vermilion and portions of western Iberia Parish here. These are generally moving off to the north and east, but should continue to rain themselves out over the next several minutes. Meanwhile, further to the north, nice little downpour here, heavy rainfall and lightning with this storm near Oakdale. Here's Highway 165, and that is gradually lifting off to the north, so we'll keep an eye on that one. And further to the east, as we get into St. Landry Parish, bulk of the activity activity starting to push eastward, but still some heavy rainfall with this cell moving into Krotz Springs. Of course, here's Highway 190, and then further to the north, just east of Palmetto Track, and another heavy downpour. So again, we're keeping rain chances at about 40% or so through the rest of the evening, but then once we lose that daytime heating by sunset, bulk of the activity is going to start to come to an end. Mild and muggy conditions tonight, mid to upper 70s. That's where we'll start today. Tomorrow, a couple isolated showers possible, and then turning to more scattered in nature as we head into the afternoon. So again, like today, rain chances at around 40 to 50%. Not everyone gets wet, but if you get underneath a thunderstorm, be on the lookout for some brief heavy rainfall and some lightning as well. But again, looks like best coverage setting up more so towards southeastern Louisiana tomorrow, and then here we go into Wednesday. We'll quiet down tomorrow night, mid to upper 70s first thing Wednesday morning, and then notice probably a slightly better coverage of showers and storms here in Acadiana as that upper level wind pulse slides a little bit further to the west throughout the day on Wednesday. So we'll bump rain chances up to around 60%. And that's pretty much where they're going to remain for the remainder of the week. And the pattern could even stay unsettled as we head into the upcoming weekend as well. As far as rainfall amounts, this is the European model, so it's a long-range model, not a short-range model, but nonetheless, it kind of gives a broad overview of what we could see through the next week or so, showing anywhere from 1 upwards to 3 inches of rainfall in spots. But of course, we can get those numbers in any one particular thunderstorm during the summertime. So obviously we'll say isolated higher amounts in certain areas. All right, out in the tropics, still looking good on the Atlantic side of things. Nothing going on. Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean Sea, and really most of the tropical Atlantic as well. 1 or 2 tropical waves, but nothing that's showing signs of organizing. And in fact, we're not expecting any new developments at least through the next 5 days. So certainly some good news there. Of course, the peak of the hurricane season a little bit later on into this month, and then as we head into September. Mild and muggy tonight, mid to upper 70s. That's where we'll start today. Tomorrow, right back up, upper 80s to lower 90s tomorrow afternoon, and then mid to upper 70s first thing Wednesday morning, and then with any luck, with a little bit more clouds and storm activity Wednesday afternoon, we may see temperatures holding in the 80s. Normal high temperature this time of year sits at 92. So 75, the projected low tonight. Again, a few evening showers and storms out there for some of you, but those will continue to diminish as the evening wears on. Skies will fair out a little bit later on tonight. Hot, humid, and partly cloudy tomorrow. 91 or so, the projected high into the afternoon with a scattering of showers and storms. Your rain chances at around 40 to 50%, but again, not everyone necessarily getting wet. And then here we go, Wednesday through Friday, your rain chances at 60%, 50% or so into the upcoming weekend, as the pattern remains somewhat unsettled with scattered downpours remaining in the mix. Well, that's going to do it for weather for right now. We're going to have more news coming up after the break.